Hello and welcome everyone to the Varsity Tutors StarCourse series, where I think all of us animal lovers have always wanted to know the answer to one question. What do the animals do when the zoo is closed and we're not there to see them? Well, today you're going to get your answer. We are here with the team from Cougar Mountain Zoo, which is closed today, but located just outside of Seattle, and you could go visit when they're open. The zoo is closed, and we are going to go through and find out just what those animals do to get some enrichment, to exercise, and keep their strength and their natural abilities and things with the team here from Cougar Mountain Zoo. So a couple things before we get started. One, please note that everything the animals do today is going to be interactive with their trainers. The same thing is true of you. We want to keep this really interactive. You see that chat panel to the right of the screen. Please use it. Our team here, which includes Sasha, Jordan, and Rita, they're going to ask you some questions to find out what you know and think about some of these animals and maybe what you would like to see them do. Answer their questions in the chat there as well. And then any questions you have about any of today's animals, feel free to type those in at any time. And in the last 10 minutes or so, I'll interview the Cougar Mountain team with your questions to get you some answers. Also, make sure you've got a camera nearby. No trip to a zoo is complete without the pictures of your favorite animals to prove it. I don't want to spoil our lineup, but we've got some amazing ones. Take a picture with any animal you find exciting. And at the end, I think we'll have the most exciting selfie opportunity of the day. Remember, if you post any of your selfies to Instagram today and tag Cougar Mountain Zoo and Varsity Tutors, we'll have the official handles up for you on the screen. At the end of today's class, if you tag us with your selfie, you'll be entered to win a free membership in Wildlife Creature Camp with Varsity Tutors this summer. So with all that said, let's be honest, you're not looking at me, you're looking at the birds behind Sasha right there. So let's bring our animals and Sasha front and center and start the show. So Sasha, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Well, welcome everyone to Varsity Tutors Presents with Cougar Mountain Zoo, the ABCs of Zoo Animal Ambassadors. As Brian said, my name is Sasha. I'm the education curator here at Cougar Mountain Zoo. Jordan's behind the screen right now, but he'll be presenting as well very soon. But you all are here to listen and learn about our wild animal ambassadors. So we are located out in Issaquah, Washington, and we have an excellent collection that you're going to be checking out today. So without further ado, let me introduce you to one of our first wildlife ambassadors. This is Kiwi. Kiwi is actually an outreach animal. That entails that she has been trained to be able to leave zoo grounds to go visit individuals and learn all about these animals in their natural world. Now, she is called a scarlet macaw. They are native to the parts of Central and South America. And they're one of the most famous species of birds because of those beautiful feathers. Now, we are now going to learn all about her and training through our bird curator, Lisa.
Hi, everybody. My name's Lisa. I'm the bird curator here at the zoo. And this is Kiwi. Now, Kiwi loves to talk, and she's part of our bird show that we do. So I'm going to see if she'll talk a little bit for us today. Hey, Kiwi, can you be a duck? Oh, she seems a little bit nervous right now. So I'm going to ask her, I'm going to actually back up in the training a little bit. So I'm going to ask her to say a word that I know that she always likes to say. And then if she does it, she's going to get a little bit of positive reinforcement, which is for her is a little bit of walnut. But we don't call them walnuts around here. We actually call them crackers. Yeah, she knows. What is it? Cracker? And now I'm going to give her treat so that she gets a little positive reinforcement. So all of our training here is based on positive reinforcement. Whenever she does something right, she gets a yummy, delicious treat. She doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do. But once she finishes her yummy treats, then I'm going to ask her to say a few more difficult things. And now that she's had a treat, she might be more likely to do it. All right, Kiwi, can you be a duck? There's a duck. How about a monkey? Monkey. Ooh, ah, ah. Ooh, ah, ah. Very good. How about a cougar? Oh, that's right. She knows that cougars purr. They don't roar. One more time, a cougar. Nice job. Can you say hi to all our new friends? Hi. Hi. Say hi. Hi. Can you be polite? How are you? How are you? I'm fine, Kiwi. And can you give kisses? Louder kisses. Louder kisses. Kisses. I don't know if that was louder or not, but what do you get? Cracker. Cracker, that's right. So we do lots of different types of training here at the zoo. We do the trick training, which we use sometimes in our show. And That's just silly and fun, but it does have a serious purpose. It builds a close relationship between the trainer and the animal, and it helps to give them a little bit of enrichment. So it helps to stimulate their minds a little bit and make them think about what they're doing. But more importantly, we do our talking training and our husbandry training. So the husbandry training is anything that we do that helps the animals to participate in their own care. So for example, with the birds, we work with them on nail trims and also scale training. So even our birds that maybe are not that excited about stepping onto your hand, it's still important to get a weight for them every month and make sure that they're maintaining their healthy weight. And by scale training and teaching them that going to the scale means they get a yummy, fun treat, that makes everybody happy and they are able to take part in their own training all the time. All right, Kiwi.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. And thank you, Kiwi. So now we're going to head on as I do my skill set here. And here is Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, you guys. How's it going? I am here with my buddy Rio right now. And as Lisa mentioned, it's often that we develop bonds with the animals because of the training we do with them. And that involves something called enrichment to actually, they want to love us even more because we're giving them such special enrichment. Now, one thing I want to show you guys is that enrichment can involve anything that stimulates their mind, right? And gets them active. Now, in the wild, these guys would be eating big crackers and big seeds and nuts, not crackers, no crackers in the wild. No saltines out there. But they would be eating a lot of big seeds and nuts, like this one right here. Kiwi was eating a really small piece of these, but this large chunk, see, they have that big beak that allows them to crack open those that's a big English walnut there. See how he uses that beak to tear into that? It takes him a couple seconds. So this basically simulates what he would be doing out in the wild to extract the nuts from the outer shell. So that beak can give about 500 to 1,000 pounds of pressure per square inch per bite. And this is a form of enrichment. They don't get these types of things every day because they can get kind of chunky, kind of fat if they have too many of those. So we kind of limit how much they get, right? As far as all the extra fatty snacks. That's not really that fatty, but you know. Now, so that is Rio. Rio is also very excited to be around me. And that's also another form of enrichment, their favorite people, being around their favorite people. So he usually likes to be around me even without giving him special treats. He is enriched by being in my presence, which makes me feel happy. I'm enriched by having him near me. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next animal right now. Let's go on this thing.
Bye, Kiwi.
Say goodbye to Kiwi and Rio there. Thank you, Lisa.
All right, so Jordan, I'll have you switch off with me, and thank you everyone for minding our fun here and moving all the camera work. So for us here, no animal, whether big or small, they all receive some sort of enrichment. Doesn't matter the size, if they're as big as, say, one of our wolves, or as small as, say, as our Madagascar hissing cockroaches. So this is our crawly friends that we have here. I'm going to have them to see if one of them wants to come say hi. Now, they can get pretty excited, and they do like to move around a lot. Oh, here we go. So, friends, these are one of our Madagascar hissing cockroaches. And can anyone guess where they are found in the world? Now, spoiler, it might be in the title. But, Jordan, if you see any of those answers come through, please let me know.
Okay, let's see.
Anyone guess where you find them in their natural environment?
So Africa, maybe?
Oh, good guess. Maybe
Asia?
Warmer areas, perhaps. Now, this species of cockroach, believe it or not, 99% of cockroaches don't have wings. So this is one of those where they do not have those wings, and they are found in areas where you're going to have a lot of debris on the ground. You're going to have also environments where maybe lemurs come from. As we're making their way up my arm. Do we find the answer there, Jordan?
Okay, I think we got some answers.
You see
here.
it? Okay, what's some guesses?
I think they said Madagascar.
All right.
I think you kind of gave it away already.
I might have. I got kind of excited with introducing them. So yes, they are native to the island of Madagascar. Now, this little friend right here, this is one of our males. The reason I know that is because of those two really big, large horns on the top of his head. Now, that is designed, believe it or not, to compete with other males, just like animals, like antlers, like those reindeer we have here. They have those to be able to compete and fight with other males. Now, cockroaches like these, they are very important for their ecosystem. They are doing pretty well in their natural environment. They're only on least concern on the endangered species list, but that's because they're pretty tiny and they can find a lot of places to hang out. But they are nature's composters. So for them in the wild, they would eat all the debris that would fall to the forest floor, like little fruits and other vegetation. And then as they excrete it, it helps to provide nutrients for the soil that then grows all the new plants and trees. Now, I love it as he's exploring on my hand. He's using his little antennae there to really try to find his way around. There we go. Now here, as I mentioned, no matter what size, all of our animals here receive some sort of enrichment. So as I put him back in his little carrier with his little friend right there, I'm actually going to show you one of their favorite enrichments. It's a little vanity bear. Now, why would this be something stimulating for them? Well, the reason is it actually helps for when they are hanging out. Some of those males might view it and think that there's another male there. And so they're going to want to possibly compete with that other male and see if they want to protect their territory. They have been known to find and sit on rocks out in Madagascar and defend that territory for a couple days even. So for our, well, careful there, little guy. For our roaches here, they are also an outreach ambassador. Just like Kiwi and Rio, they are able to go off zoo grounds to be able to talk to people about every single species and why they play a very important role in the ecosystem. And to also try to help them so that people don't all think little things like this could be creepy and crawly. They're actually really special and not that scary at all. Now, they do live in colonies. We have a colony of 15 Madagascar hissing cockroaches here. And we're going to go next and meet another species of animal that doesn't live in a colony, but does live in a group. Put my friends back here. All right, so Jordan and I are going to switcheroo again.
Okay, so let it move naturally. All right, we're going to head on over here to our next group of animals. And seeing from right here in front of me, we have our wolf pack. So here we have our 4 wolf boys. We have 4 males here. Right here close to us is Huska. Right below me there, it looks like, oh goodness, is that Coleman? Doing us there. Coleman's right below us. Tisa's over there. So these are a species of wolf called gray wolf. Scientific name, Canis lupus. And as you can see, there were different colors. So gray wolves can be multiple different colors. They can be gray, white, brown, black, and everything in between. So these guys, what animal do you think they are closest related to? You might have them at home. What do you think is just like them at home or similar to?
Getting a couple good guesses. Let's see. Oh, they might talk just like them too there.
So as you guys are answering the question, I'm going to tell you guys that they do live in groups called packs. Now, to be considered a pack, there has to be at least 2 individuals. So a breeding male and a breeding female to make a successful pack. So they have to be able to breed so they can have their own babies and go out on their own, right? So here we have an interesting pack. These 4, we have 2 brothers in there, and the other 2 are not related, but they were raised together from a very young age. And this is what they see as their pack. You wouldn't normally see this in the wild unless they were brothers separated from their mom and dad and leaving to go find their own pack for a very short amount of time to go find their own individual. So did we get some answers?
We did. So one of the most unanimous answers, you guys are really smart, are our Canis familiaris friends at home, the dog. Believe it or not, good guesses. So, I think a couple of people said husky, so I kind of took it as dog as well.
Okay. So it's actually pretty good, Sasha. These guys' closest dog relatives are actually huskies, malamutes, and even German shepherds. So if you can look at them a little closer, they almost are resemble German Shepherds or big Huskies, right? But the thing about these guys is they're a lot bigger, stronger, smarter, faster, and more agile than your dogs at home. So our boys are about 100 to 120 pounds. They're at a pretty good size, pretty lean, strong, muscular size. And your dogs at home probably aren't breaking 100, but unless some of those really big, heavy animals at home. Now, so these guys, they do live across North America. They historically were found in Washington, but unfortunately they have left because of human development and their prey is leaving. Now, do we have enrichment for these guys today?
We sure
do. We sure do. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take the camera and Sasha is going to run over and drop some enrichment to these guys for you all to see. So enrichment for these guys can consist of a lot of different things such as scent to get them, because in the wild they'd be looking, smelling for their prey, right? So today it looks like you have some chunks of meat with bone attached. So they're going to take their bones and they're going to run off. Let's see if they can catch that. There it goes. Let's see. Kuska's getting his. Let me got Tisa's last here. Good. Oh, almost caught it. Okay, so the point of the enrichment for these guys is that everybody needs mental stimulation and animals the exact same. So these guys get this special treat. Enrichment can be something that is very different or, it's different from their daily routine. So it helps basically switch it up. So if you eat the same thing at home every day, like if you ate cheeseburgers, right, every day, that probably wouldn't be that boring. But is it the most healthy for you? Probably not. Like me, I might have some heart issues right now. I know I eat a lot of cheeseburgers, but that's just me. So, so these guys are getting some fun enrichment to chew on and to basically stimulate their minds. And we have to make sure they all get one. Otherwise, that will lead to fighting. Now, normal communication for wolves involves a lot of snapping, jawing, biting. And one main thing that you guys may know is a certain sound that they make. It's called howling. Most of you might know that wolves howl, but do you know when wolves howl? Is that a pretty good question?
It is. When and why do wolves howl?
What do you think, Sasha?
I think they like to tell each other that something fun's about to happen.
Maybe.
What do you think?
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and tell. I think I saw a couple of answers there. Now, wolves howl anytime they want, and they communicate with each other. That is a form of communication to let other wolves know where they are. If someone gets separated, they can help find each member of their pack. And it's just a way to just talk to each other. And there is a myth out there that says that wolves howl at the moon, and that is completely untrue. They howl any time of the day, whenever they want, just like you talk to your friends whenever you want, or talk to your mom and dad whenever you want. Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next animal. Let's get back on Sasha. Hi, Sasha.
Now, where we're at right now, too, this is just a small part of our facility. We have a variety of other endangered and unique species that we're able to talk about every day the zoo is open. We've also done some really fun online lectures called our Zoo to You program. So just in case, you want to learn a little bit more about our animals, make sure to check that out. Because one of our next animals is one of our honorary zoo animals. So I'm going to see if he wants to come out to say hello. And you might get a little idea as to what it is with his special little blanket here. So this, my friends, oh, I know I'm waking you up. I'm waking you up. I'm so sorry. So friends, let's see, it might take him a moment. Good thing is the sunshine isn't too much right now. This is Vlad. So Vlad is one of our other outreach species. He is called an African pygmy hedgehog. So he is now, oh my gosh, he's going to be 3 years old. Oh, I know, I woke you up. He's going to be 3 years old soon, and they live to be around 5. You can find them in the central parts of Africa, And they are usually going to be running around, which is why I said I woke him up. They are a nocturnal species. So he is most active at night, and they can actually run a few miles a day looking for food. Now, he mainly would eat insects in the wild, but they also would find a little bit of vegetation and maybe a little bit of fruit. But for him, he can't really see too well, but he uses those big old ears, which is why he keeps kind of thinking when I'm saying sounds. It's really, really easy for him to hear it. Now, what kind of animal do you think Vlad looks like? Because I see these special little plucky parts on him. We'll see what guesses people might think what Vlad looks like.
Looks like people are saying he almost looks like a porcupine.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
that was really, wow. First couple in, I love it.
Are those the same things? Like, are they?
That is a great question. That was really fast. So for our friend Vlad here, a lot of people think he is a type of porcupine, but he is not. Porcupines and hedgehogs are actually two different kinds of species. We do have a porcupine here. His name is Zambezi, and this is actually one of his quills. So with porcupines, they will push their quills up really high up. Our next guest is excited to see us in a moment. And that then helps to make sure to deter predators. Now, Vlad has that similar as well. With his teeny tiny quills, though, they don't come out if anything comes and thinks he might be a tasty treat. He'll actually go into a little ball, and that helps for him then to protect his body and keep all the little soft parts inside. So these quills, hedgehogs have almost 6,000 quills all over their bodies. And so that's a very important way to protect himself out in Africa, especially if there's any little predators running around or flying around, for him to then be able to safely protect himself. Now, let's see. I do have an enrichment for Vlad. So for him, this is one of his favorite enrichments. And let's see. Oh, there he goes. He might come right at Jordan. Actually, the shadow moved on me, so I'm gonna step here. Now, the reason I want to make sure he's in the shadows is because his eyes are very sensitive to sunlight. So I'm gonna just stay right here for a moment and see if he wants to explore again. So once again, enrichment is extremely important for animals in a captive environment to keep them mentally stimulated. In the wild, since he would be taking a long time to forage, we want to make sure that he has something to do when he's exploring. So instead, it looks like he just wants to sniff around a little bit. That's fine. All right, friends. Well, we're going to put Vlad away. So thanks for saying hi to him. I think I'm just going to give him his enrichment as well.
All right, we're going to transition over to our next animal here as soon as Sasha puts away Vlad. And Sasha, in order to prepare for this next animal, there's something that has to be done first, yes. Correct?
So we are going to go visit our last ambassador species today, and that is going to be our Bengal tigers. So we have 3 beautiful Bengal tigers here at our facility. We are going to be observing Bagheera and possibly his brother Vitays. Now, for me, I do have to have protective wear when I'm interacting with this cat. I have to wear special gloves, as well as have a mask. So believe it or not, friends, and this is also my Save the Tiger mask. So this is one of, we actually have here that we can sell at the zoo. This was created in order to bring conservation awareness to the species, and parts of the proceeds are actually donated to Panthera, which is a conservation center focusing on wild cats. But the reason I'm wearing this, as well as Kyla, who I'll introduce in a moment, is because these cats can actually contract COVID. So we want to make sure we're extra safe with them, because it'd be a little bit of a challenge to put a mask on a tiger. I'm just saying. All right. So as I get up close, looks like Vitays is just going to be exploring next door. So Kyla here is one of our carnivore keepers. Hi, Kyla. She's going to be doing a training demonstration with Bagheera. And while she's doing that, I'm going to explain what's going on. So Bagheera, oh, he has to say hello first. So what that, oh, there we go. So Kyla is doing some behavioral and even medical training with him. The keepers will do this daily, and it's a great way to be able to assess the animal, since we can't just go inside in order to check them out to make sure if they have any, eating situations, any standing or sitting situations, and that gives us a good idea on how they're feeling. Now, as Lisa mentioned at the beginning, we do only positive reinforcement training here, which means that we ask the animals a behavior that they've learned. If they do it, they receive a positive reinforcement treat. If not, they just don't get anything. Now, the other scenario is, oh, there's a big tiger, is that we also do chain link behavior. And what that entails is that they're not always going to get that reinforcement every single time. Thank you, Kyla. So for them, we want to make sure, that they are learning. Thank you. That they are learning different behaviors, and then we put those chain operations in order. So Bagheera here is going to turn 12 soon. In the wild, tigers only live to be about 8 to 10. In captivity, around 15 years old. Bagheera is a standard Bengal tiger. They're found in India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan. And for our tigers here, as we mentioned, they're all wildlife ambassadors here to learn about conservation, what we can do to help protect them, and take the best care possible of them. Now, some of their favorite enrichments are scented enrichment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab it. Of course, I left that right behind Jordan. And show you what our scented behaviors are. So this, friends, now let me ask you this. Here's my question. What do you think, good tiger, what do you think tigers eat? Do you think tigers eat this? Or do you think they eat other things?
So somebody's saying vegetables.
Okay, that was a good guess. Let's see, we'll give him just a moment.
Fish.
I'm going to give this to him and let's see if he eats it, okay?
Oh, that was really smelly.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that part next. Oh, and he does smell it.
So meat.
Oh, all right. Good job, friends. Oh, see, so this item here, all of you, this is scented enrichment. No, they are a carnivore. They do not eat vegetables. They could potentially eat fish, but it's not going to be their main diet in the wild. This is just natural bamboo we have here growing on our zoo. Oh, look at that phlegm. Oh, it's a good face. So that is called a phlegm or a grimace. That is one of the hopeful reactions when we give them scented enrichment. That is a natural behavior for tigers to do. Actually, our house cats at home do it too. And it's a way that the tigers can then really take in what that smell is. So we did put some varying scents on this bamboo, and that's where he's going to get that phlegm response, is to be able to try to figure out what is that smell. Now, tigers might do that in the wild for a couple different reasons. They might do it if, say, there's a rival tiger around. They even do is even
All right, the Wi-Fi in the tiger den is probably maybe a little bit less than it is, maybe because it's just not part of their natural habitat. We're gonna get that back. That was an awkward transition there. In the meantime, want to remind everybody, please keep getting your questions in, because we will take as many of your questions as we can in a little bit. And make sure you've got those cameras ready, because I think really what happened was our tigers were just getting pretty because they knew a selfie opportunity was coming up. So let's turn it back to Cougar Mountain. The Wi-Fi is back to where it started, but hopefully you got a chance to get some questions in and get those cameras ready. And it looks like we need audio from Cougar Mountain, guys. So we're getting some pretty nice shots of our tigers. But
Hello.
There we go. All right, you're
hello.
fully
Can you
back.
see us?
Thank you. Gotcha.
Okay. Apparently, we have the Wi-Fi still on.
And that's why we do all these fun tests, and it's still exciting.
Anyway.
All right, friends, give us just a moment. All right, sorry, as always, technology at its finest. Stand by. There we go. Thank you guys for bearing with us. It's always fun, especially when working with zoo animals. All right. He's too close? I think we're good. All right, friends, I think we're ready to go. Are we good? Can you hear me?
Well, we've got you loud and clear. So this is the best picture we're going to get, right? So reminder for everyone here, I'm going to turn it back to Sasha in just a second. This is probably your best selfie opportunity. If you've got those cameras ready, now is your time. And remember, if you upload these and put it into Instagram, I'm going to turn it back full screen right now. I'll give you the rules later. This is about the best picture of a tiger I think anyone's ever going to get.
All right, 1, 2, 3, take those photos.
All right. Hopefully everybody got amazing pictures. Remember, if you put these up on Instagram and tag Cougar Mountain Zoo, it's just at Cougar Mountain Zoo, and Varsity Tutors is just at Varsity Tutors. You'll be entered to win a spot in Wildlife Creature Camp with Varsity Tutors this summer. And in the meantime, let's just enjoy seeing this tiger. I've never been this close to a tiger before. I doubt many of you have either. So huge thanks to Sasha and Jordan for setting up this picture. And if there's anything left, I know your internet broke up while we were getting to know our tigers pretty closely. If there's anything you think we may not have learned that we should have, let's run with it. Otherwise, I'll be back to help out with questions and answers in just a second.
Sure, no, I don't mind. If you can hear me loud and clear, we'll just focus on Bagheera playing with his bamboo. So as we were saying, tigers are an endangered species. Where they are found in the wild, there are not many of them left. Sadly, there's only between about 3,000 to 4,000 wild tigers out there and almost 10,000 in captivity. So our job here is to help explain to zoo visitors everything they can do to try to help those wild tigers out. It could be as simple about learning more about them. You can also do great activities like learning how to recycle at home, trying to minimize your carbon footprint, and all these things that will help out not only the tigers, but a lot of the wild species in parts of the world. So with our tigers here, as they act as those wildlife ambassadors, they're here to speak for those who can't. They're here to be able to help educate zoo goers alike, learning about what they can do to help save those wild tigers. Now for Bagheera, he and his brother do a great job at that, especially when we can do different training sessions and doing different enrichment programs. And hopefully soon we'll start bringing back our encounters because those are a lot of fun. You can get pretty darn close to them and still stay extra safe around them. All of our species here, as I mentioned, they are our ambassadors. That means that they're able to bring people together and learn about these species worldwide. Because truly, it's going to be thanks to all of you as to why we can help protect these species. We can't do it alone, you guys. We need all your help as well. So we're hoping that after this experience, there's a big tiger face. After this experience, you'll be able to learn more about your favorite species, learn all about what you can do to help protect them, and then share that with your friends and family. So trust me, those little things go a long way. And that's our biggest goal. And I know with Varsity Tutors as well, on that continued education factor. That's truly what's so important, enriching our lives and those around us. All right, Brian, how we doing?
Great. Just an amazing close-up on Bagheera right there. So thank you guys for setting this up, and hopefully anybody that didn't get a chance to get their picture right on the count of 3 has been taking advantage of these crazy opportunities right now too. So I think you guys have been asking a ton of amazing questions, and we want to make sure this is also the first time I've ever been side by side with a tiger on one of these classes. So I'm just relishing in this for a little bit. So maybe a good opportunity to to get some questions in from the crowd. I'm going to cheat and start first while you guys all get all of your questions in. I know we were talking a little bit before class about Bacarin, and we got a broken tooth. Can you tell us a little bit
Yes.
more about kind of what's Bagheera's life been like, and how different is it here than it would be in the wild?
So, just like any animal, any situation, sometimes things can happen where they might get a small injury or certain things where, yes, Bagheera did break. Now, in the wild, that's pretty common with wild tigers. They can have that happen, whether it is they are competing with other tigers or having some sort of external environmental stimulus that can cause them to snap it. But here in this environment, we're able to then give them medical attention. So we actually had a specialized dentist that came out to be able to take care of his teeth. Now, that is the thing as well. So being in a zoo, a lot of times animals' lives can live much longer because we have zoo veterinarians to take care of them. So since this isn't the wild, at least we can give them that best life possible in this type of dynamic. So that's okay that his tooth is no longer with him. He has specialized diet made specifically for them so he can eat just fine. Especially since they do have teeth that are designed to be able to eat meat and bones and other tasty treats like that.
I love that you consider bones to be tasty treats. I guess you're talking on behalf of the tiger, so that's probably how he sees it as well. So perfect. Hey, while we're talking about other ferocious animals, a lot of people wanted to know a couple things about. We're gonna hop around animal to animal here. Please, everybody, keep your questions coming about the hissing cockroach, and we got Madagascar. I think everyone kind of found that was location.
Yeah, that was great.
One, why do they hiss? And two, you mentioned that they defend their territory for days at a time. I think we can all picture a tiger or a wolf defending territory. We can see them, using their teeth and claws. How does a cockroach go about defending territory?
Definitely. So one of those is those display measures where the males, and we've actually seen this with that little mirror too, the males will do almost these little dances around their area, and the hissing is multi-purpose. The hissing could be able to deflect other territorial males from coming over to that area. It's also their main form of communication. And how it happens is they actually will expel air out of these tiny little holes alongside their abdomen called spiracles. And so they'll be able to get that sound out there, which is to that communication amongst other cockroaches or even defending their territory that way. So it's amazing to see how these animals will have these natural behaviors in order to take care of in what they do with their day-to-day lives. I love it. You went on an adventure.
Awesome. Thank you. So just a note, make sure everybody caught that one out there. Cockroaches, one of the ways they defend their territory is by dancing. And so maybe that's something we may all want to try in front of our homes a little bit later. Yes, you can fend off danger. Hey, speaking of, whether it's defending territory or rich interaction, I think we saw a little bit, with our tigers, saw some of the other animals and we're running up against the fence to see them. A lot of people wanted to know, especially right here, we saw so many animals within, just a few feet of each other. How do the animals at the zoo interact with and view each other? Do they communicate? Do they smell each other and get territorial? How does all that work?
Great question. So for our facility, we do have exhibits designed specially for those species in mind. So occasionally they might observe one another. They might be able to smell each other, especially when there's a predator or prey animal nearby. But for them, truly, their type of interaction is based within their exhibit. But a lot of these animals have been around humans their whole lives. And so that, at least for a human sense, they get used to it. They get comfortable. Because we want to make sure in this environment that they're not stressed out, they're not scared, which can be a natural behavior, especially in the wild. That's one of those ways we can at least coexist with other species, is to have that happy distance from each other. But for here, we want them, since we know they're greatly taken care of, they live in a comfortable environment, that they're used to those sounds and smells that go on day to day. So a lot of the animals, if they came here when they were young, they have been exposed to those smells and sounds so that they know that's part of their daily life. But fun enough, another kind of enrichment we have done is we've taken some big old logs and sticks, say like in our reindeer exhibit, and we take those and we put it in the wolf exhibit. So now those sticks and logs and smells smell like a possible prey. And oh boy, do they love that. They'll roll on it. They actually do run around with the stick as well. Reminds me of my dog at home, but a little bit different. You see why in the natural behavior of a wolf, why they do that.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that you give them all those different kinds of opportunities to feel like they would in the wild, even with, in the case of a tiger, we may need to feed them a little bit more carefully because of a tooth and those kinds of things. When you mentioned that it reminded you of your dog at home, this brought me to one of my favorite questions. When we were talking about wolves being related to dogs, someone wanted to know, really, a wolf is related to my Chihuahua, and I think maybe we can extend that a little bit. How closely related are wolves and dogs? Do the wolves there behave a lot like dogs? What are the differences that we should watch out for? Clearly, no one should probably go out into the woods to trying to find a wolf to be a pet, right? So tell us a little bit about some similarities and differences, and really, is a Chihuahua that closely related to a wolf?
So wolves and our domestic dogs, there's thousands of generations of domestication that has occurred. But scientifically, dog's scientific name is Canis lupus familiaris. So they have found genetically there is still a very similar connection between our large predators here and our little Chihuahuas at home. Behaviors, though, that's one of my favorite questions we actually get from visitors here. Is they'll look and go, well, Fluffy does that same thing at home. It's neat to see a wolf do it. It's like, well, guess what? Your dog is doing what they do. The wolf isn't doing what your dog does. So for them, it'll make it easier for me to talk. For them, then, you are observing these wolves and why they are naturally doing those behaviors. So quite often, our wolves will smell something on the ground. Again, maybe that was an enrichment the zookeepers put there. And they'll roll on it and flip around and rub, 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 rub. Well, that's because they are actually trying to put their scent on that item to let the rest of the pack know, that's mine. You can't have it. So when our canine friends at home do it, now you know what they're doing. They're not trying to smell stinky like that item. They're trying to declare, that's mine. So you will see a lot of those similar behaviors. You'll see the nipping and playing. Sometimes some dogs at home, when they mouth, they're doing that similar with the wolves, because the wolves will do it to try to entice other ones to regurgitate food for those animals to then be able to add to their diet. But a little bit different here than our domestic friends at home. Digging is another source. The wolves will bury part of their prey sometimes if they don't finish it, to try to keep it away from the rest of the pack. So now you know why our domestic friends at home do it. Again, they're saying, that's my treat. I don't want anyone else to find it. But it is awesome to see the similarities, but still understand they are still very distinct and different animals. You have domestication, which is thousands upon generations, even with human interactions, to provide a task for humans, or at least to be a companion animal, versus a wolf that's still pure wild instinct. So similar, but still very different.
That was a great breakdown. Thanks to everyone who asked those questions. That was, I learned a ton just by listening to that. It's really, I mean, they look similar, but you obviously know there's some differences. That was really amazing. So, all right, we're going to put you on the hot seat a little bit. A lot of questions came up about, all of you there at Cougar Mountain Zoo and about the zoo itself. One includes, are there cougars at the Cougar Mountain Zoo? Which seems like, that's people would want to know. And a little bit also about, can you tell us a little bit more about where it's located, how we can visit, and for those who are far away, one of my favorite questions was, how close is it to Missouri? I think we're probably looking at 1,500 miles or so. For those who aren't in wolf howling distance to be able to get there quickly, how else can they participate with the zoo?
Absolutely. So yes, one of our main attractions here at the Cougar Mountain Zoo, is actually the first exhibit you're going to encounter, is our cougar exhibit. So in Washington State, Fish and Wildlife does estimate that in the wild, there are between 1,900 to 2,200 cougars out there. So they bring a very big awareness in exactly, what do we do when we're hanging out in the forest and you might encounter a cougar? We really try hard to make sure guests understand and learn how can we successfully coexist with these large predators. So we have 3 wonderful cougars here. They are going to be 10 this year. I don't know how time goes that fast. I've known them since they were 10 days old. They could fit in my hands when they first arrived. So our 3 cougars here are extremely important wildlife ambassadors at our facility. But yes, so we are located in Washington State, not too far from Seattle, actually, only about 15 miles east of the city. So it's just a real hop, skip, and a jump away from that area. We do love when visitors come out our way, since we are kind of the hidden gem on this part of the state. It is really important for us to try to bring awareness in all degrees. Now, we do have on our website, which is www.cougarmountainzoo.org, a lot of great facts about our species, great ways to get involved, and awesome videos again on how you can learn about our animal collection here. Our social media too, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are trying our best to gain, again, a way to be able to interact and learn about these animals, even still hanging out at home or in a nice, safe environment. So all those ways are what we try to do to get everyone involved. So we really appreciate you all attending and learning about our animals here today.
Perfect. Thank you. I think time for one more. We'll try to combine a bunch of questions because we got a lot of.
I know it's always hard.
For those who want to get really, really involved with the zoo, I mean, those who might want to visit you online. There are others who are like, no, I really want to get really, really involved. People are asking, what kind of training do I need to be able to work with tigers? How much do you like your job working at the zoo? What does it take to get a job where you get to work at the zoo and with animals and those kind of things? Can you speak a little bit to that? Especially, what kind of training do you need to be able to get that close to tigers? But, the best thing about working in a zoo, and what advice do you have for those who want to do it?
You bet. And that's hard because that could be a whole 45-minute talk too. So for quite a few of us here, we did attend either a 4-degree college, either in some sort of science like biology, environmental studies, ecologies. Some of us actually did attend specialized schools designed specifically for learning about how to be a zookeeper. So that's usually the first step into trying to get into this career. And so that you can have the opportunity, like I did, and get up close and personal with some of those big predators. We also suggest if you have the chance to volunteer at certain animal areas. Sometimes it could be just the Humane Society, sometimes a rescue or rehab, or even your local zoo. Trust me, our volunteers here are huge to be able to help out with our conservation through education message. We have wonderful docents and keeper aides that tour the grounds, talk about our species, and help take care of our animals as well. So that's always a great next phase in order to try to get your hands in on this career and do everything you can. Now, it is a commitment. You have to understand, animals don't understand holidays or vacation time. So we are on call 24/7, but trust me, it's worth it. I've been part of the wildlife field for 15 years now, working either in the captive environment or out in the wild studying cougars. So it is definitely a joy, and I learn something new every single day.
That's amazing. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, that is one piece of advice we hear a lot from many of our animal presenters is that you can volunteer, and I don't think people know that. It also means you get a chance to know, what part of working with animals do you like the most? Do you really like it, or would you rather just be a visitor? Although I think most people that at least that are in your shoes say they really like it. So, hey, huge thanks for all of your expertise. You mentioned you learn something new every day. I think all of us here learned a couple dozen things at least today. So we're really thrilled. Thanks to everyone at Cougar Mountain Zoo. I know Jordan's behind the camera doing some pretty amazing work there, and Sasha and Lisa helped out a lot. So huge thanks to everyone at Cougar Mountain Zoo. To everyone out there who asked questions, thank you for all your great questions.
Yes,
we're really excited to get online and check out everyone's tiger photos and other photos. I mean, people probably got some great photos with macaws and cockroaches and wolves as well. So with that said, I'm going to throw up our contest rules here that also includes some information on how to find out more about Cougar Mountain Zoo, how to find out more about wildlife camp this summer with Varsity Tutors. If you click the link on your screen, you can learn a little bit more whether you win or just want to register. So thanks to everyone at Cougar Mountain for an amazing presentation. Thanks to all of you out there for joining us, and we hope to see everybody back soon.